Hello, and welcome to our Cerenade video. In this video, we will showcase how you can now create an invoice directly from inside the client profile. This means a case profile is no longer needed to be able to create a quick invoice for your client.
Let us log into our caseworker portal. Before we start, it is important to note that you must be signed up to the billing optional module, which allows you to create and process invoices. You must also have default billing items created inside the admin tools. If you don't have billing items created, proceed with creating those inside the admin tools, as those will be used to create invoices. On the description of this video is a link taking you to a video on how to apply billing settings, which includes creating default billing expenses. Let us proceed. We will want to locate a client profile we want to create an invoice for. Let us search for a client profile. Once inside, go to the billing tabs to the right and proceed to select Invoices. Once inside the Invoices section, click on Add Invoice.
You will be asked to create an invoice for a case or create an invoice without a case. If you select the first option, this will be similar to what was previously needed to create an invoice, to associate the invoice you are about to create with a case. The software will locate any case profile where you have this client linked. You can then create an invoice for a case where it will list any expenses you have added to it. However, you will now see the option to create an invoice without a case. If you select this option, you will see a button that says Add Invoice Items. Click on it. The software will list all your billing items you created in Admin, and you will go one by one selecting the billing item that applies to this client. Once adding your expenses, you will have the option to modify those expenses by clicking the Select drop-down menu to the left. Once you have your listed invoice items, you will finalize by selecting your invoice template, and then, as an option, select the payment type, which forces both caseworkers and clients to pay their invoice in a specific format. You will finalize by clicking on Add, and the invoice will appear. From here, you can change things like the due date or other items on the invoice. Once you've made your changes, you will click on Save. An invoice has been created where you can now do different things with the invoice, like email it to the client by clicking the checkbox to the left and selecting Email Invoices. If you click the Select drop-down menu, you will find many options, which includes adding payment on an invoice. If going this route, you can then select your payment type, the amount, the date, and process the invoice. You can also set up a payment plan, where you can tell the software the terms of the payment plan, such as the payment amount, the recurrence, and the number of days ahead of the due date you want the software to auto-email the client, and can even include a payment link. Please note that for payment links, this will only work if you link up your LawPay or PayPal account in the admin tools, which allows credit card and bank ACH payments. You must also be signed up to the credit card processing optional module. You can also do things like delete the invoice, manage discounts and late fees that you can apply on an invoice, reverse payment should you have processed the payment on the invoice, and lastly, send a payment link to the client, which can be emailed or sent via SMS if you have the SMS messaging optional module. Please note that for settings such as deleting an invoice, adding discounts on an invoice, or refunding an invoice, depending on your access rights, you may not have permission to do so. This can be changed by anyone who has access to the admin tools, where they can update your user profile's access rights. As you can see, with this enhancement, the ability to bill your client is now easier, being able to create it directly from inside the client profile. This concludes our video on creating invoices inside the client profile.